30 years of Scream. It took us a minute to get to that number. Apparently, math is a hard thing for us. Simple math at that. Christian before said he thought Scream came out in 1991. I would have been a fetus at that time. Just kidding. Definitely would have been like 5. So this weekend, Scream 7 has hit theaters. At this point, if you're watching this video, you may have already seen the movie. If you're like us, we chose to do this instead and haven't seen it. So we know nothing about the movie. But because we don't know anything about the movie and we're not going to make assumptions about the movie, we wanted to revisit the original Scream, which came out in 1996, and just kind of go over not the franchise, but more so Scream 1. I think Scream was a film that definitely made a huge impact in the horror genre.
Yes.
You could say it revitalized the genre at a time where it was very much needed. It was also Wes Craven's big comeback, really, because what was the last movie that he had done before that? A New Nightmare?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think it was A New Nightmare. So to have Wes back, for him to almost pass up on the role, and was basically, convinced to do it, a lot has happened since. And obviously we have 30 years of Scream, which is crazy. And,
wild.
Man, how old were you when you saw this movie?
I actually saw this one in theaters.
Wow.
So if it was 96, I was 16. I was like the prime demographic for this movie. I remember a bunch of us from high school went and saw it, and it was awesome. Scared the crap out of us. It was shocking.
Yeah.
And it was in that MTV era, so it had a lot of celebs that were popular in that. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. I remember the promos for the movie. I was 10, so I didn't see it in theaters. But I remember the promos. I remember people being interviewed after the movie, like right as they were coming out of the theater. And that was the promo for a lot of these, a lot of the spots on TV that they had. At that time, it wasn't like, you had streaming or you had internet where anything was being uploaded. It was TV.
Right.
It was like the commercials you saw and like people just word of mouth. And I remember that being a big thing, especially for Dimension Films. Dimension Films tend to do that back in its day. And I was like, man, I want to see this movie so bad. And obviously I had to wait. I had to wait for the release at Blockbuster. So didn't get a chance to catch it in theaters. But I remember the hype and just people always talking about it. And it was actually my first official scary Halloween costume. It was the first time that I was able to, I dressed up as Ghostface. Do you remember when you came out of the theater? Like, do you remember how you felt watching it? Or is it at this point? I mean, you're getting up there. So
admittedly, it took me many years of my life before I really got into horror. So it was a little shocking to me. I mean, I wasn't scared or anything, or it didn't traumatize me, but seeing girls get gutted and their guts hanging out. And what really resonated with me, and as I feel like most people it resonates with, is that opening scene. As funny and silly as later parts of the movie are, that opening scene is pretty chilling.
Yeah.
And very effective. So that was something that I'll never forget experiencing in the theaters.
And speaking of that opening scene, you have Drew Barrymore, who at this time in her career, she's like, I guess you could say she's like America's sweetheart. She's the leading lady. She's not.
She's like the Zendaya of that era, right? Sure. At that point. Zendaya, sorry. I said it wrong. Wasn't it true that she actually suggested doing that role so that it was more shocking for the audience, that the big star dies in the beginning? Which was very effective, because that didn't happen very much in those movies back then.
Who would it be now if we were to do the same exact thing right now with a movie? Who would be the first person to appear on camera in a scary movie and get just murdered beyond recognition, and it would be effective like that? Would it be a Zendaya?
I think so. I think that would work really well, actually.
Right?
I think other names we could probably use, maybe like Scarlett Johansson, or she might be a little older, but still, I feel like it would be just as shocking because she's such a leading lady. The girl from La La Land and
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. I think
that would be a good one. That would be a great one. Emma Stone,
because she's so beloved, and if she just gets just destroyed in the opening scene.
But it did kind of happen with Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Kind of, yeah.
You know, that was heartbreaking. But I think I
feel like she's gone up a few levels since that movie.
Yeah.
Especially if, like, in the trailers, it was like, you know, Zendaya in Scream.
Yeah.
She's in like 5 minutes of the movie.
I had read an interview that Drew Barrymore, in order to like maintain like the tears and everything, like that Wes was basically talking about hurting puppies or something along those lines. Have you read about this?
I haven't heard that, but I can see how that'd be effective.
Yeah, supposedly. And she also did call 911 for real. They forgot to like disconnect the line.
Nice.
She sure enough did dial 911. Imagine that 911 call, and then they show up and there's a dummy of her hanging off of a tree.
Oh, I heard, I don't know if I read it or saw it in one of the bonus features, but her death scene was actually a little more elaborate. She apparently, the parents found her still alive, and it was like a final, oh, don't die, oh, mom, you know, that kind of a thing. And test audiences thought it was too rough.
Yeah, that would be
too brutal.
That'd be hard. That'd be hard for any parent. Now as a parent of two daughters, man, things aren't as funny.
No.
Or as exciting when you watch them. You're just like, you just put yourself there. Let me see. Okay, so I found the thing. It says, in order to inspire real fear in Barrymore, Craven used a story that the actress had previously told him about, a dog being burned by its owner. So she started crying as she was telling him this. So every time that she needed to get over to that edge in the complete tears, Wes Craven would just say, Drew, I'm lighting the lighter.
Oh my God.
And that's on the DVD commentary. So there you go. Also, with the opening scene, I guess if we're talking about Scream and, you know, we're celebrating Scream 30 years later, the fact that Scream 7 is being directed by Kevin Williamson, who also wrote the screenplay for the original Scream. So it kind of comes back full circle. And again, we haven't seen Scream 7, so we don't know if this is in fact the end, or, you know, we're going to get the inevitable Scream X, you know. Which, what did you,
Are you calling back an old joke that we had?
Yes.
The Jason 10.
And it was the Jason 10. And then we have dingus. He was
10,
like, have
10,
you seen
10.
Jason 10? It's like, Jason 10, you mean Jason X? You know, I get that X is, you know, 10 Roman numerals, but yeah. So the inevitable Scream 10, 10X. As this man would say, and then eventually a Scream in space. I think Ghostface would have to be in space because that tends to be the route.
I feel like every major slasher, you have to go to space.
Jigsaw still hasn't shown up in space though,
and Michael Myers hasn't either. We need
Michael
both
Myers
of those.
hasn't either. You're right. What about Leprechaun?
Maybe a team up in space.
Leprechaun? Did he make
Leprechaun went to space?
Okay. There you go. So Scream in space. But anyways, I derail the whole thing. So Kevin Williamson wrote the original screenplay, and he actually wrote the whole movie because of an experience that he had. Now, from what this article says, it says Williamson was house sitting in Palm Springs when he watched the March 4th, 1994 episode of ABC News series Turning Point. Which was talking about the Gainesville Ripper, who murdered 5 college students in Florida over 4 days in August 1990. So that's a real thing. R.I.P. to those victims. But during that commercial break, the story goes that he heard a noise, and he basically went to search the house. And obviously, if you're watching like a true crime, whether it's a show, documentary, you kind of get, you know, freaked out by these things. And especially if you're by yourself, I think it's even more, right? Or even if it's late at night and everybody's sleeping, but you're hearing noises and whatnot. So anyways, he went to the living room and he saw that a window was open. He'd been in the house for 2 days and he had never noticed that window being open. So he got really scared, went to the kitchen, got himself a butcher knife, picked up his phone, and called a buddy of his. That buddy, who also told CNN in this article, said he was told him to look under the beds, go out to the garage, look in the garage, and he's like, "Well, don't go outside. If you go outside, you're going to go outside, and the killer is going to sneak in the door while you're outside." And Williamson was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean, the killer?" So, anyways, this conversation between him and his buddy, basically left him so spooked that he went to bed and had nightmares. Woke up like 3 or 4 in the morning, and then he started writing the opening scene to Scream. And we see all of that in the opening scene. You know?
I think I also read he wrote this entire screenplay in 3 days.
Yeah.
Which is bonkers to write a screenplay. And it was so hot. Every studio wanted it. The funny thing, too, ironically, I don't know if you knew this, the original title of this movie was Scary Movie.
Yes.
Which is so funny because, as you know, we have that ridiculous spoof series called Scary Movie. But if you watch this movie and think of that as the title, it is actually the perfect title. Is it kind of a shame they didn't name it that? Maybe a little bit too much. Yeah. Well, remember what's Neve Campbell's final line? She's like something like, this movie's not a scary movie, or what does she say? She says something like, not in my movie, or something like that.
While you're looking that up, bonus points. Do you know who was the one that didn't make the suggestion, but he forced them to change the name?
Was it Wes?
No, Wes didn't want the change. It was Harvey Weinstein. The one and only. The one and only.
Instantly unfollowed our account.
Yeah. Did you find the line, what you were talking about?
Yeah. Okay. She does say, right before she shoots Billy Loomis in the head, not in my movie.
What's the most memorable scene for you out of Scream? Especially since you've just recently rewatched it.
Not counting the openings. I think that opening scene is king. Not counting that, I would probably say I love the scene when they're all on the couch in the house watching Halloween, and the video store dude is like laying down the rules.
Yeah.
You know,
Jamie
never
Kennedy.
go investigate a sound. Never have, intercourse. Never say I'll be right back. That stuff's great.
Yeah.
Because literally all the things he says happen, either after or before.
Yeah. You said you weren't really into horror at that time in your life. Just you knew some stuff, but you weren't it wasn't your thing. Right.
I mean, I wasn't afraid to see it. I just didn't seek it out. I was,
Gotcha.
As you know, I was a big action sci-fi guy. That was the stuff I was lining up for. Horror, I would watch if there was nothing else,
So with that being said, when you watch the opening, because you said other than the opening, and Neve Campbell, Drew Barrymore was getting asked these questions in order to survive. Were you able to answer them yourself, or did you get the Friday the 13th one wrong?
I mean, I was 16 years old, so I was pretty new to the horror genre. And by the mid-90s, Jason, when you heard Friday the 13th, you thought Jason. So I'm pretty sure I would have got it wrong. And I thought that was a really smart way to educate the public.
Yeah.
You have this really popular slasher and be like, actually, Jason came later.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about this movie, too? It's so odd because on one hand, yes, I was 10 years old when it came out. I wasn't able to just go to the movies and buy a ticket. At that time in life, also, theaters would crack down. Theaters were making sure that if you were, underage, you weren't getting in. Also, if you were underage and you were with somebody, they had to ensure that person was parent or legal guardian. They checked it. Now, guys, you guys have it easy. They do not check that.
Oh, no, not at all.
But what's interesting about this movie is that I feel like anybody at any given point in time that saw it around its release, or even around its release again when it came out on VHS and DVD, you really got to enjoy it in different ways. And I say that because, one, the movie is so meta. It's so self-aware that, as a movie theater experience, it's one different way to experience that film. But in the way that I experienced it, when my mom said, we can rent this movie and you can have friends over and watch it, that also plays into the movie. Because
100%.
You have Jamie Kennedy's character who works at a video store. He's giving all these like different suggestions to the two killers, about like how to survive the scary movie. And in a way, like, you're kind of in the movie when you have it at home. You're watching it with a group of friends. You're sitting there, and you're seeing the same exact kind of thing happen. They're at a party. They're watching, Halloween. So I feel like that experience for anyone that got a chance to see it is a unique experience, whether you saw it in theaters or you saw it as a rental.
100%.
Seeing it now, like, it's not the same. I think, if you see it now, like, unless you're like raised by somebody who's like literally, I guess you could say that they're in a way monitoring everything that you watch and almost like kind of going gradually with like, oh, you're going to watch this one on VHS, or we're going to watch this one as a sleepover, or we're going to have like the whole perfect setup for it because you're surprising them with something like this. I think maybe you can get away with it then. But if you're just like a young kid in this day and age and you just download it or something and you're watching it on your phone, it's not the same.
I will say this, and again, I just rewatched this for the first time in, I don't know, 6 years. But so many things stood out to me, and one of the biggest things that stood out was I feel like Scream is the perfect entry-level horror movie, because if you've never seen any horror whatsoever, it references so many other great franchises that just by watching this, you already have a list of like 8 movies by the time it's over or more that you need to watch. And I think that's brilliant. I don't know about entry level, but like if you are interested in getting into horror and you've never watched horror before, I feel, and you're willing to be, to suffer through some of the violence and scares, I think it's a great starting point because it can point you in so many other directions.
I kind of do that with my wife when we watch movies. Like, in the beginning, she didn't understand a lot of references, and now seeing movies as frequently as she does, especially like the scary ones, and then seeing certain actors kind of like pop in every now and then, she understands the weight of that cameo, or she gets the whatever they're referencing, and it's very interesting to see that through the perspective of somebody like her who didn't grow up with any of this stuff.
Right.
So like, I get to essentially kind of funnel the different things that she's watching and can control like to what extent.
You're like curating her watch list, which is
kind of cool.
Perfect. I'm actually doing something similar with my kids right now. It's not horror, but we're going through like the Marvel movies and the Star Wars movies in order. And before, they had just watched the pieces here and there, but now that we're going in this order, they're like, "Oh my gosh, that reference makes so much more sense." Seeing them have that connection makes everything so much better, and that's the same with this movie.
Yeah. It's I did this recently with my daughters with horror. I've introduced them to a lot of different horror. Most of it is kid friendly. Like, most of it is like gateway horror. Like they've seen The Gate. They've seen like new and old. So I'm putting some movies on that like they saw Silver Bullet the other day.
Oh, classic.
A lot of stuff that involves kids and that I would have seen as a kid. And they appreciate it. They appreciate it so much. And my daughter, who's 7, she's the one that like, she likes horror, but she doesn't want to necessarily watch it. Whereas my 4-year-old, she's like, "Can we watch a scary movie? Can we watch a scary?" Like, she loves it, dude. She loves it.
That's awesome.
We saw Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and she immediately wanted to see more clown movies. And she's seen my Pennywise. She has seen my Pennywise Funko Pops and whatnot, and she was like, "Can we watch this one?" And I was like, I'm thinking back. I'm like, I was young when I saw the original It, the 1990, made for TV series, and I was like, you know what? I think we could watch that one. I think it's enough that like it's not too graphic, but it's enough that can like kind of scare. And they watched it. They watched it through, and it's interesting because like, they were scared of it, but they also like learned a lot through them. Like, don't talk to strangers. Don't talk to anybody in a freaking drain, like in a sewer or whatever. Like,
don't investigate strange noises outside.
Yeah. So I've been slowly kind of like building them up to little things. And I can say with confidence that while they did watch it through and they did love it and they wanted to see it again and again and again, they did get nightmares. So officially, Pennywise is the one that has infiltrated the nightmares for my girls. Whereas for me, it was Pinhead, and that's one that they're staying the fuck away from.
Yeah.
they're not going to have to see that. I'm not going to subject them to that.
That's a good dad right there.
Is it? You can watch Pennywise who eats children, but no Pinhead. You know. Yeah. Anyways, I thought I'd share that little bit of random information about my horrible parenting skills. Also, I am doing it on VHS. So
see, that's really cool.
They get to have that experience. The Monster Squad, they saw it on VHS. Pennywise or It, same thing on VHS. So they're really
that's a cool, unique experience. And for them, it's like this old median.
Exactly. And they don't know that. They just see it and they get. And I noticed too, man. Like, I don't know what it is, but like even when they watch newer movies versus old movies, their attention span is completely different. When they watch something older, they're focused. They're locked in.
Oh wow.
And they watch something new, and it's like almost like forces them to like go nuts. Like it's like it's almost like what parents thought of records back in the day, of like old school rock records. If you play them backwards, Satan.
Well, and maybe on a subconscious level, they see the effort it takes to load the movie up. Per se, you have to put it in a machine, rewind it, press play. Where when you stream it, you just push a freaking button. You know, it's like
tonight they were watching Hocus Pocus on VHS. So
that's cool.
Go. Yeah. Anyways,
nice.
Back to Scream. This is about Scream, not about my kids. I gotta say, for me, I think my favorite scene is the end, the reveal of both Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich. But I think for me, more so than anything, it's the humor that's behind it.
Like how deranged they are. How it's not a big deal.
Yeah, like despite them being horrible people and obviously psychopaths, it's weird that there is almost like not an attraction, but like almost there's empathy in a weird way. I don't know if you felt that watching it this time around, but like you got to remember they're high school students.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're still young.
Well, that's another thing that I appreciated more, because when I watched this in my younger years, in my teens and early 20s, you still feel like a kid, or you are a kid. Yeah. So you view them as equal to you. Yeah. But now as an adult, you see them as these children. And one of the lines in that final scene that resonates and kind of is a perfect image of how these characters are is when one of them is dying from his bloody wounds, and he's like, my mom is going to be so mad at me. Yeah. That was brilliant. And I think that was an ad-libbed line. I don't think that was in the script.
It was.
But that was so on the nose for what kind of kids these were.
Yeah.
They were spoiled, and they were, the true consequences of what they were doing were like not even an option in their mind.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff at the end was ad-libbed. A lot of the stuff that happened, like him getting the phone tossed onto his head, like that was real too. That was a real reaction. They just kept it going. So I don't know, it just worked. And I think as audience members, like seeing something so real actually unfold, because it was real to them in that moment. They're not acting at that point. They're reacting because all this different stuff's happening. It just made it that much more special. And he's such a likable guy, despite like doing what he did. Like the dude went nuts, killed his own girlfriend, got her stuck in the garage door, and was it him that he killed his own?
Well, we don't know for sure if he killed. Do we know for sure which one killed the girlfriend in the garage door? Either way, they were both angry at their girlfriends, and they wanted to take him out.
They were. Now, okay, so so in line with Scream, even though it's not Scream, in Scary Movie, there is this constant sexual tension. Like Shawn Wayne's character is extremely gay in Scary Movie, in all of them. That's his character.
Right.
But then at the end of the movie, it's revealed that he's not actually gay. He was just like, no, you suck my dick, right? And that alludes to both the killers in the original Scream to being gay. As a rewatch, did you see more of that? Because I'll be honest, as a young kid, when I first saw it, that never even crossed my mind.
No.
And even in my 20s, the amount of times that I saw it, it never came across my mind. It's been recently that I've seen those, I guess, discussions pop up on the internet about people saying that, they in fact were gay.
It never crossed my mind. In fact, this is the first I've heard of something like that. But that's an interesting take for sure.
Really? You've never heard this theory before?
No, I haven't.
Oh, hold on. Matthew Lillard, who played Stu in Scream, has confirmed longstanding fan theories that Billy Loomis and Stu were queer-coded, calling them the first husbands of horror. While not explicitly stated in the 1996 film, Kevin Williamson confirmed they were inspired by the real-life gay killers Leopold and Loeb.
Interesting. Okay.
So that just adds a whole other layer.
A whole new level. Yeah.
That's exciting. Like, personally, like, in the beginning, it's like, okay, their motives are like
that. Yeah,
they're crazy motives
completely.
But like, then that's a whole other approach that explains why it's so important that their girlfriends get it. Like, it's like it almost makes it even more violent.
Yeah. No, totally.
Like, there's just something, even with, is it Steve in the beginning? Who was Drew Barrymore's boyfriend?
Yeah, Steven. Like, even with Steven killing the jock, killing the football jock, right? Like, there's almost like there's another motive now, almost like there's a jealousy or resentment because he is the praised, athlete, probably a captain. Maybe he bullied them. I don't know. Like, I think that being something that they've confirmed that is like, yeah, there's, I don't know what the hell gay coded means, so I apologize. But like, does it just mean that he's a little bit sprinkled in there? I don't know. Well, and then you could also, if you were going down that alley, maybe there's some sort of connection with the principal too. That maybe he had knew something about them, because it seems like a random kill in the movie. The principal just getting, taken out, but maybe there's something there.
Maybe the principal caught them.
Yeah, maybe he caught them.
Or maybe the principal. Maybe
I read you.
Maybe the principal made an advance.
Yeah. Hey.
You can either have detention for the next 2 weeks, or I mean, that's just So
that's
when
wild.
that is a thing that I guess is confirmed. Billy's character did sleep with Sydney's mom.
Sydney, right?
And Sydney. Or no, not Sydney's mom. No, Sydney's mom slept with Billy's dad.
That's why he got revenge on her. That's what he says. That was one of his reasons why he wanted to kill her, was she was so uptight about it.
Okay, so check this out. So this man is so crazy. He's so, like, fucked. And so angry at women. And he's gay, that he goes through the trouble of sleeping with a woman just so that she can fall under the rule of, you must die now because you are not a virgin.
That's right, because they did lean into that.
That crazy that he's like, he feels like he can't kill her because she is a virgin, and he has to ensure that she's not. And the only person that is able to do that is himself, despite being gay.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
That's a whole other element to the movie now that I'm just thinking about that. I may just rewatch it again, knowing that bit of information and seeing what I can pick up on.
Yeah, that's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah. Or just checking out the two guys. I'm glad I actually got to meet both of them at the same time. Yeah. And they both did sign my DVD collector set of Scream.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and they both
Very
stood
cool.
together for a photo, which I don't know where the hell that photo is. No idea. It sucks. I've met them, had the photo, but it's gone. It's in some cell phone.
It's not a digital file. It's on a piece of paper lost somewhere.
Somewhere. But yeah.
Darn.
They both signed it, along with Roger Jackson, who does the voice of Ghostface, which is also a really cool little thing about the fact that this killer, they never once are the voice. You have Roger Jackson, who does the voice of Ghostface,
and nobody, changer.
Yeah, and nobody met him, or not. I don't know if it was in anybody, but I think Drew Barrymore for sure said she didn't want to meet him beforehand. She didn't want to she didn't want to see him or anything. She just wanted to hear the voice, so that she genuinely got freaked out. And that was also the reason why she was able to dial 911, was because they had functioning phone lines, because he's actually on set on the phone talking to her. So when she hangs up the phone, and she gets freaked out by it, dials 911, and it's like, oh shit, this is a real line. So there you go. Another little fun fact.
One thing I wanted to talk about a little bit that I thought was fun is, the Nightmare Before Elm Street parallels and mentions, and
that you'll get eaten alive. You said The Nightmare Before Elm Street.
Okay. All right, we'll start over. Edit this out.
I haven't seen that one. So it's a crossover.
I really like all the Nightmare on Elm Street movie references and parallels. Yeah. Specifically in the opening scene, again, that's part of one of the quizzes that he gives Drew Barrymore, which says something along the lines of, "Was your favorite scary movie?" And I think she says Nightmare on Elm Street. And the other thing that's really interesting is that whole franchise, The Nightmare on Elm Street, is Freddy invading what most people consider to be safe, like their dreams, the place where you can't be harmed. And that's a really unsettling and scary idea. And that kind of parallels the idea of someone threatening you on your phone in your home when you're trying to relax. You're a safe zone, and kind of disrupting that. So I thought that was kind of a fun little nod. And then there's a direct one that, I don't know if a lot of people even noticed this, but
how do you
there's a really quick cameo in the high school of a janitor named Fred,
rocking
in
a
striped sweatshirt, and it is Wes Craven.
Yeah, it's a solid.
So it's like, is this technically a part of is this like the prequel of A Nightmare on Elm Street?
Nah,
is he the one that's getting kids in the furnace room downstairs?
Yeah. It's so ridiculous.
Maybe,
I don't know how a lot of people miss that, though. I mean, that's
maybe Billy and
here we go. Oh God.
Yeah, a lot of people miss that. And I mean, admittedly, when I first saw the movie, I had no idea. But that's I love that they just didn't even hint. It was like, put him in the Freddy clothes. Yeah. He's also the janitor, and it's Wes Craven. I love that.
Yeah. With all the other franchises, I know we're really not going to dive into, or not franchises. With all the other Scream movies, I know we're not going to dive into the rest of them. But just curious, out of all of them that you've seen, 1 through 6, what would you rank them at? My list is pretty simple.
Is it, you want, go ahead, you go first.
Yeah. Basically in the order that they've been released, except 3, I would shift into 4th, and I would put the 4th into 3rd. But everything else progressively, I haven't enjoyed it as much as the
3
first.
would go where?
3 would be in 4th.
Okay.
And number 4 would be in 3rd.
So you just flip-flop those two.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, mine is similar. I have, of course, the first one as first, and then I have 2022's Scream and Scream 6 and Scream 2 all like tied first, second.
Okay.
Then Scream 4, then Scream 3. I have Scream 3 dead last.
With that, out of all of the movies, what is probably your most hated moment or scene in any one of the movies? It could be one, it could be any of them. Something you could never forgive.
It's been a minute. That I can never forgive?
Yeah. Because I have mine, man.
You know what? You go first. Let me think about. Let me marinate this.
So it used to be Jamie Kennedy's death in Scream 2.
Okay.
I hated the fact that he died. Okay. Obviously it's a likable character, and you don't want any of them to die, but you know that it's got to come for them some way or another. And he dies. He dies on college campus. He's standing right in front of the van. The van doors slide open. He gets pulled in. We don't see it. We hear all the movement happening in the van, and then we see the blood dripping out from underneath the van door onto the ground. I hated that for so many years, But as I got older and rewatched them, I was like, it was an honorable death, if you will. It sucks. He died, but there was nothing that he could do. And I love when movies do that. I love when movies put the characters in a position when there is nothing that they can do, and they try, right? But then comes Scream 5. Scream 5 is when...
Or that's just Scream, right?
Is it just Scream, or is that one Scream 4?
I think Scream 5 is just titled Scream. Scream 4, the A is a 4.
Whatever. All right. So, Scream 5.
2022, yeah.
There's a character that is loved by all. He's survived everything, right?
Oh, yeah. We're talking
David
Dewey,
Arquette
right?
survived everything, every possible blow, every killer, he survives. Now, he gets it. And he gets it. It's a brutal one, right? Ghostface stands toe-to-toe, gets him from the back, from the front, and just raises him up. Phenomenal. It's a way to go. However, it is revealed at the end of the movie that, spoiler alert, Mikey Madison and Jack Quaid are the killers. In that scene... That's
pretty terrible, by the way.
It is. It very much is.
I think
that
that's
scene,
mine.
though, Jack Quaid is not the killer. Jack Quaid is on the ground in the hallway because Dewey was helping him. So
she picked him.
Mikey Madison. IMDb has her listed at 5'3", weighing in at 100 pounds, soaking wet. Okay. David Arquette on IMDb is listed at 5'10". You're telling me Mini-Me stood toe-to-toe with David Arquette and picks him up and raises him over her shoulders? But what's worse is the fact that the movie doesn't try to do this in a smart way. That's where the offense comes in for me, because I feel like these movies have always been very smart. They've been so self-aware that they make sure that they do all of these things accordingly, right? It's never a scare that is for the audience. It's not a cheap scare. The scare's happening to the characters, and we're with them in POV mode. But it's never like a random scare that it's only just for us, when it doesn't really do anything in that scene for said character or propel the story forward. And I felt like it was the most just shitty, disingenuous way of hiding the fact that our 5'3" killer, it basically it lied to the audience directly on purpose by showing a guy that was literally the same height as David Arquette. And then we're supposed to just forget. Let's assume that she had platform shoes on.
No, still, you can't. She doesn't have that strength.
Nobody is running around in platform shoes with a freaking whatever the hell it is that he's got, the whole setup, and can run and move around swiftly like that. Come on. To me, to this day, was one of the laziest and just not well thought out kills. And the worst part about it is that it was David Arquette's character. It wasn't just some random new person that we were introduced.
One of the OGs.
You really gave that. That was it. That was the moment where I was so pissed off. And I remember going into part 6 already with a bad taste in my mouth because of what I saw in that one. And I'm like, well, if they're willing to lie to that extreme, you know, then what are they going to do to trick the audience? Whereas you look back at a lot of the other movies and you know the reveal of each killer. If you look at part 1 and you know the reveal, then you go back and rewatch it and you could say, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that totally is them, right? Even though we know it's not. It's a stuntman. Mm-hmm. We all know that. Same thing in part 2. You know, you had the mom as the one and then the other guy as the other, but it was explained that the other guy was the one basically doing most of the killing, while the mom was just kind of like more of a stand-in, if you will.
Totally.
Right? And then it goes, same thing with 3, 4, and we get to that point in 5. I just felt like that was just so shitty in from like the filmmaking point of view. Like,
yeah,
you're lying on purpose to trick the audience so that they can't guess it. And it's like, well, why not just either come up with a different kill or flop the characters, or maybe shoot it in a different angle where we don't see the height.
It makes you think in a direction that you wouldn't, and it makes it all so unbelievable when you finally realize, like, seriously, come on.
Yeah. And I like her as an actress. She's fantastic. No hate to her at all. And obviously she didn't write the fucking movie. Right. But nobody questioned it. Like, nobody goes, guys, she's 5'3".
I'm really curious to see how this all comes about, because apparently Dewey's in the new Scream movie. So I don't know how that's even going to work if he's dead.
Maybe flashbacks?
I guess
or maybe he did die, or he didn't die and he probably went under hiding. I could see something like that.
Maybe. Okay. Fair enough.
You know, he goes under hiding because it's just too much. And it's like, at this point, like, I don't want to fucking let it be known I survived and then the killers come after me again. I don't know.
I don't feel like I could speak on it because I don't have anything that stands out. It's been a little too long since I've seen some of these other ones.
It's crazy how, like, I will retain, and this is kind of a side quest here, I will retain all of this information of some of these movies that I saw at a young age, some of my favorites, and then I'll see clips of, like, Ballerina, which I saw some stuff today about it, and I was like, I don't remember that. And I only saw this movie like less than 6 months ago. And it's crazy that I don't remember it. It made me just go, how many of these new movies do I watch? And I don't retain that information because it's just not memorable. What does that say about films? That's a topic for another.
That's a different conversation, but yeah, you're right. Yeah. I mean,
right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just my brain. I'm just old and decrepit.
I don't know why, but I keep thinking of that opening theater scene in Scream 2, but not the Scream 2 version. I think of the Scary Movie version, dude, in the stall. Yeah. I remember seeing that and
do it again. Yeah.
Bro, I was crying. That was so funny.
Yeah. Dude, I remember there was a time where, because of Scary Movie 1, 2, not so much 3, but 1 and 2 for sure, that it was hard for a while to revisit some of these other movies
because you kept thinking of
you kept thinking of Scary Movie, you know, and it's like, man, like, the joke comes in. Like, I still remember the rap Ghostface does, when he's high. 30 years of Scream. It's crazy. It's crazy that it's been 30 years. Like,
30 years old, and it holds up. It's not very cheesy. I think the only thing that might feel really dated is the whole phone situation. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, it's really strong. It really still resonates. I feel like it depicts teenagers pretty well, at least.
Yeah, you know, mid-20s high school students, for sure. Like every old movie where it's like every high schooler was like clearly 30. Not in high school. Like, bruh. None of my fucking seniors looked like that when I was a freshman. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
It's so funny, man, rewatching old movies like that, and you're just like, that's crazy. Now they do a better job at actually putting kids close to that age, or at least picking ones that look younger. But, dude, like, it's like, bro, how many times did you fail senior year? Get the fuck out of here. You're not in high school, bitch.
It's like that. I don't know if you ever watched the show 30 Rock. There's this scene where Steve Buscemi's like this private investigator, and they're trying to figure out this high school kid if he's selling drugs or something. And so he's like, don't worry, I'll infiltrate. And it cuts to this scene. He's in the hall of the high school with his skateboard, and he's all, what's up, fellow kids? Steve Buscemi, he looks freaking 60. And they're all like, huh?
Buscemi's a creepy looking dude to begin with, so that's a hard sell. That's hilarious.
A hard sell. Hilarious. Because they do that all the time in these movies, man. Ghostface kind of carried on that tradition of masked slashers, which, you know, obviously was really well established by Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and many others. So with that being said, we've had a lot of copycats. We've had some that are worthy of the mask. What are some of your favorite masked slashers or killers in the horror genre? And you can go as obscure as you want, because there's a lot of really weird ones out there. There's some stupid ones out there. What would you say are some of your favorites? Maybe your top 5? Let's say your top 5.
Probably not the direction a lot of people would think, but I would definitely pick the 3 killers from The Strangers.
Okay.
I think their masks are terrifying. The guy with the sack, with the kind of like burgundy suit. It was just something really creepy. The other 2 with like the doll faces. But there's this almost like kid-like quality to their movements and even to their voice. I do also like Jason. I love one of my favorite masks that I have is part 4 Jason mask, where it's got the split from the axe. I love that. I absolutely love that. There's just such a nice touch. But I'm also a big fan of Potato Sack Jason. I just something,
one eye peeking through.
Yeah, and then that's 2, because technically The Strangers, I'm counting it as just 1 since it's the movie, not the 3. I would say, and I'll probably get hate for this one, but I love Michael Myers' mask in the Rob Zombie Halloweens.
Oh, dude, it's great. It's solid.
That is terrifying. Terrifying. Something genuinely terrifying about that. Just the neck, the width of that neck, and the cracks like on the mask. I love that. I love also how like people shit on. This is just a rant at this point, but people shit on the Rob Zombie ones so much, and then with the new trilogy that came out, they really kind of copied a lot of the elements of the Rob Zombie one in terms of like the brutality, the violence, and the aesthetic.
Mask. Yeah,
like you just didn't have the hillbillies that Rob Zombie likes to have in there, but put in Sherry Moon and you got yourself a Rob Zombie movie. And then I would say, I'm just looking in my room for inspiration here. Oh, I got a good one. Krampus. His mask is fantastic because if you rewatch the movie, the mask or Krampus, the character Krampus.
Oh, it's like
he's actually wearing a mask.
That's a good call, man.
It's like this,
like a wooden carved.
And it's not even wooden carved. It's like skin. It's like someone's, like those realistic masks that they have where like people like use for bank robberies, where they're like this like silicone kind of thing, and it looks so real. It's like that, but it's like stretched out, hollowed eyes, and the mouth is like, it's creepy, man.
Cool.
That's a mask that is 100% like, this is crazy. Yeah.
How many is that? Is that 4?
That's 4. I can't think of a 5th. You go, and if I think of a 5th, I'll get back to you.
For me, my number 1 will always be Jason Voorhees. Like every variation, but specifically the one you mentioned, that the battle damaged one with like the axe chop and maybe even a little bit of piece missing down here.
Yeah.
There's just something about that hockey mask, and it's kind of funny because they only used those hockey masks in the hockey for like 10 years, and then they switched to something else. But very iconic.
Yeah.
Michael Myers is also very iconic, but there's 3 I want to talk about that I love a lot. I feel like this franchise doesn't get enough love, and it is so brutal. It's so great. Laid to Rest. The dude with the chrome skull mask. There's 2 movies. I watched these for the first time last year, and I was floored by these. He's kind of like, he's got this webcam on his shoulder, and he just slaughters people. Have you heard of this?
I've never heard of this.
Laid to Rest.
Let me look this up.
Came out in 2009, and there's a second one. It's got some of the best practical effect brutal kills it's just he's kind of like, think of like
a direct-to-video slasher. Oh.
What's that video game, the spy with the barcode on the back of his head?
Hitman.
Hitman. Think if Hitman was a slasher.
Interesting.
He's like a well-dressed, clean, has these gnarly weapons, and he has this full face mask that's chrome steel.
Honestly, he looks like he could be the lead singer of a band, because a lot of these band guys are now just wearing masks. I'm seeing the images right now. Yeah.
So that one's really cool.
So this movie's good, you're saying?
The first one is really good. The second one is solid, but they're not for the faint of heart. I mean, they're not Terrifier level gore, but they're pretty gory.
Is it silly gore though?
Yeah,
over the top kind of stuff.
Yeah. Another one that I really like, and again, it's a franchise that a lot of people sleep on, is The Collector.
Yeah.
I like
not
that.
a fan of those
it's kind
movies,
of a
but yeah, it's a cool
demented, weird, melted rubber looking thing.
Yeah.
And then it's just because it's kind of in the same vein as The Grabber, but it's more simple. I love the mask that the dude in Hush wears.
Yes.
That one's so unsettling.
Yes.
And it's got this like dead, cold stare. Very creepy. Love that mask. Definitely check out that
Laid to Rest.
Laid to Rest.
I'm
I think you'll
stuff
enjoy
up on
that.
it right now. I think I know my number 5.
Okay.
And it just dawned on me when I said, I don't know why this is how stupid my brain is, that me saying singer somehow triggered my brain into remembering this. And when I say the answer, you're gonna be like, that's not even a singer, bro. But it doesn't matter. Pigface. The Pigface mask that Jigsaw wears with the whole cloak and the terrifying. When you saw him with like the long hair and that, like, dude, what the fuck was that? Like, I remember seeing that in the first one. I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know? So I'd have to go with that. I think that's a really creepy one. Honorable mention, the nun mask in The Town. As the robbers. It's creepy.
One of my honorable mentions is great. Now I'm forgetting the title of it.
Showgirls. Totally.
The mask the kid wears in Brightburn.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Kind of goes with the sack stuff. I feel like that sack is pretty scary. Like there's just something inherently kind of creepy about that. I'll do another honorable mention before we finish this. We saw Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City last night.
Is it awful?
It wasn't awful. You know what? It's interesting because there's elements that I really liked of it. They took Resident Evil 1 and 2 the game and then basically spliced the stories together to kind of happen at the same time. They did just some other stuff that was just weird. The real point of it is that there is a mask that one of the patients is wearing. It's a girl, and she's rocking this really creepy mask, and it's got it's a face, and the face is sideways on her, and then she's got a slit open where her other eye is. So it's like, it's just really unique. And I was like, man, that actually is a really cool mask. Like, it gave me ideas for Halloween for something.
Nice.
I'm like, it's just a sick mask and really creepy. There's something really off-putting about seeing a face on a face, but clearly it doesn't fit.
I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
You
Yeah, that's crazy looking. It's like the face is over here, but it's opening like this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. So that's another honorable mention there.
Cool, man. Well, yeah. 30 years of Scream. It's pretty crazy.
Scream.
This franchise is still going strong.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll be still going strong when it's 60 years of Scream. We can do the sequel to this.
Just don't let us do the math trying to figure that out.
No. I'll have a calculator ready. At that point, I think we'll just have chips implanted in our butthole, and we can just come up with everything, you know?
Exactly. Right.
That's just, you feel a little tingle, and then the math is done, and you just spit it out. Boom. That's how the future works, guys. Appreciate you guys hopping back on, and we took a little bit of a hiatus. Things have changed for me, not so much him. Same setup, but I live in a whole other state now. Yeah. I've moved. There's been so much that's gone on, and we're going to be consistent with these. We're going to change up the format a little bit. So We're going to be more specific, talking about certain movies and trying to really break these movies down and do deeper dives if we can on certain things. So if there's a specific movie that you want us to talk about, maybe we can, research it and find out some things and, pull from the archives some special features and stuff like that and talk about things that you may not have known about these movies. Drop them in the comments. Let us know what you guys want to see next. Christian, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me right here. Also, I'm on 1 Minute Critic on every social media platform out there, so check it out.
Very nice. And he does do things in under a minute. It's not just a gimmick.
I try.
Sometimes it's
these days
it's false advertising. Sometimes
these days you can't even monetize unless you're over a minute. So
should be 101 Minute Critic.
1 minute plus critic.
Yeah, you should take your logo and add a plus 0.01.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd actually be kind of genius. We did that with our first channel, the movie couple, when my wife and I did a movie channel together. There was a very successful creators already under that name, so we just took the movie couple, inserted other above it. Beautiful. with the arrow. So the other movie couple. Anyways, Chino Collects. You can find me on all platforms under Chino Collects. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
Later.